Hey guys, it's Kat, and today I'm going to be talking about my reaction to being 17 and pregnant and doing a Q&A, just because I didn't have enough questions to do just a Q&A. As far as my initial reaction, I was kind of just like, oh, crap. I mean, that sounds so, I wouldn't even say typical, just like, really? But like, that's really all I thought of, and then I kind of like to make the best out of every situation, so the next thought was like kind of making a joke out of it. Yeah, to solve some of my issues with decisions that I gotta make, because there's been a lot of decisions that I've had to make with being a junior in high school and trying to prepare for my life, which obviously is getting a little impacted by all of this. A little, just a little. And then as time's gone on, I guess I've kind of just been like neutral about it. I've been excited because I'm gonna be a mom and I've always wanted to be a mom. I've been nervous because like I don't want to mess up. Overwhelmed, but I've kind of just been processing it. Like, I know I'm pregnant, but like it hasn't hit me that like, hey, you're gonna have a baby. Like, I talk about it, but it like doesn't process, if that makes sense. And honestly, it probably won't until the baby's here, because then I'll be like, oh, now I gotta raise you. All jokes aside, like, I'm preparing for it, but it's not like I'm making it that big of a deal, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not being very over-dramatic about it, which is crazy, because I'm a very over-dramatic person. I shouldn't say that. I actually can be pretty chill about a lot of things, but it's kind of made me more serious, and, like, I've grown so much. Ooh, did you hear that wrist pop? That was great. I've grown so much since finding out I was pregnant, and not just because I found out that I had a baby on the way, but because of things that have happened in that time too. Because I'm like a day away from 20 weeks when I'm filming this. Halfway done, halfway done. If she doesn't decide to come early like I did, you better not. If you listening, you better not. I did that. You don't do that. That was already a bad example of me. I'm really winning. Doing good. Wow. I'm in a real goofy mood. I think it's because I'm really tired. And I think the reason I wanted to put this in a video but didn't want to make a full video on it is because I just don't really know, I guess. Like, I have my thoughts on it, on like teen pregnancy in general, which I just filmed a video about, but as far as me personally, like, it is what it is. And I'm not exactly upset about it. You know, like, I've just kind of come to terms with it. Not that I was really ever necessarily upset about it. Stressed one thing, upset another. It's just a process of figuring it out. That's about it for that. Question number 1. Do you plan on putting your child in a public or private school? Ooh. That's kind of a tough one. So it kind of just depends on what my options are. And to be honest, as far as like money goes, probably don't have the money for private school, and especially the one around here. I don't know a ton about it, but from what I've heard, it's not the best. Like, if I'm going to be paying money, I want it to be a good education still. I personally have always wanted to go to a private school, but it didn't happen. So, like, I want to give my kid what I didn't have, like, but at the same time, I don't know how necessary it is. Another thing is homeschooling definitely plays a role in that too, especially with all that's been going on with schools nowadays. I don't want to really get into that topic, but it's hard to see, knowing that at some point I might have to worry about my kid going to school and their safety. That's really sad to even think about, but coming from someone that has been homeschooled / done online school, it was actually a public school that I did online school through, but I did it at home and have done it at home. So coming from my own personal experience, I would prefer my child to not take that path, because that's a whole different video. Leave it at that. I guess to come to a conclusion with that answer, I'm not sure, and I guess I'm just going to have to see how it goes and see what my options are and what the best option is. Like, kind of weigh my options when it gets to that point, because the answer that I have now may not be even an option by the time that it comes to that time. Like, who knows what's going to happen over the next couple years. Granted, I went to school when I was like 2. But that's still 2 years away. And who knows where I'll be at that point. Question number 2. Are you scared to have a baby so young? I don't think me being young really plays a factor in me being scared about it. I don't know how to word that. And I also really don't think I'm necessarily scared of having a baby. I guess it's not the having the baby that scares me. It's more of the after the fact. Or like getting to that point. That's probably the least of what scares me. Other than the fact that like complications can happen, and I obviously don't want that. But that's more so getting to that point than moving on from that point. Because it's like such a small portion of like the actual process, if that makes sense. That's like 3 days out of the entire process. Plus, I also feel like that's kind of a broad question. Like, there's specific things I could be scared of, but like, I guess overall, not exactly. Question number 2. Are you going to be a stay-at-home mom? Not really in the sense that, I'm not going to be doing anything, if that makes sense. Like, if that won't be the only thing I'll be doing. But luckily, the schooling that I'll be doing is online, and then I can take my baby to work with me, so they'll pretty much be with me all the time, but I won't be a stay-at-home mom. And definitely not in the sense that the father will be, like, taking care of everything, and I'll just be momming, because that's definitely not the situation. I'm not bitter, actually. I never have wanted to be a stay-at-home mom entirely, because I've always thought that I would get too bored with it, like, when they have to go to school or something. I don't know. Plus, I'd, like, go insane from being stuck inside all the time. Or, like, just running them around and literally having my life revolve around theirs, not having a life outside of it, if that makes sense. Like, not having hobbies. Why is it literally me now? Anyways. Question number... I need to stop saying question numbers because I really don't know at this point. I don't have them numbered on here. What excites you the most about motherhood? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'd have to say, like, getting the opportunity to make a great human. I probably shouldn't have used the word great, because that's such a, like, a dead word. I don't know if anyone else's teachers called them dead words, but, like, certain words were dead words. Like, the word very was a dead word, like ones that are overused. This is not a English lesson. Anyways. And the fact that, like, I could potentially bring a good person into this world. I mean, obviously, whatever they do at the end of the day is, like, on them. But hopefully be a good person, because that's my main goal, is I just want them to be happy and have a good heart. Yeah. I'm excited to get to have an excuse to ride the kiddie rides at the different amusement parks, because I'm too chicken to ride the bigger rides. I've rode the bigger rides, I just don't like them. It's not even... I guess it's not even too chicken, I just don't like them. Which, I know, is crazy. I know everyone's like, well, you're just scared then. And I'm like, no, I mean, I'll ride them, but I just don't really like them. It's like, they're okay, but they're just, like, overrated. Fun fact, this is super random, too. I don't like fireworks, either. It's not that I'm scared of them. I'll watch them. I just don't really care for them. I think it's just because they're overhyped. Like, they're cool, but, like, it's, in my opinion, just a waste of money. Although some people love them, so, I mean, at least it's providing them happiness. It just doesn't have that effect on me. They don't really have an effect on me, other than the fact that, like, the loud noise kind of annoys me. I'm like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I could cover my ears, but then it's like, I don't want to just see colors flying up in the air like that. I just don't care that much. And that's funny, because, like, that's such a thing with, like, the 4th of July, and sometimes, like, New Year's Eve and stuff, but just... not really a care of mine. That was off topic, but I'm just excited to get to be able to, obviously experience stuff with my kids, but, like, also get to, like, play with kid toys and not look like a psycho. No, I mean, I just get entertained easily by things that I really shouldn't, like kids' toys. I don't really get entertained by video games or anything like that, but when it comes to kids' toys, that's a whole different thing. A little different with kids' movies. I'm fine if I'm watching them with a kid, but I don't really care to watch them on my own, if that makes sense. But I'm also not a big, like, movie watcher. I kind of watch, like, TV series. But I can't wait to do all that with a kid. And just like having someone that I can be clingy with. Like, I'm just not a very clingy person when it comes to relationships or things like that typically. But when it comes to family, like close people, I'm like super clingy. Like, I'm like attached to my mom's hip, and like I can't wait to be able to have that with my kid unless they're like, Mom, don't, just leave me alone. I would be so heartbroken. I'm gonna be that mom that like is embarrassing with how much she cares. Well, they're getting blessed with a very loving mother. They should just be thankful for that. I need to stop joking and actually take this seriously. Okay, so as my official answer, I would just say that like getting to actually bring life into this world and potentially be a real great one and get to like be with them and raise them and be a parent. I was just about to describe what being a parent was, but I'll just say it like that. Next question. What are you most scared of with becoming a mom? I think I already mentioned this, but kind of just messing up, which I feel like is such a cliche thing to say. I'm not as worried about like messing up as far as like big mess ups, like doing something that's gonna ruin their life, but like I also want to set a good example for them, which is hard when like I'm still learning how to human. I'm still learning how to adult, so setting a good example is a little difficult, but I just don't, I want to be able to actually like teach them what I should know already. And I guess what I do know, I actually do know a good portion. I shouldn't be that hard on myself. I know a lot, but I don't know like as much as some people. So I guess it's just I don't want to mess up. That's like the overall answer. And I think the first thing that I'm afraid of with it is just like when they're so fragile and they cry and I don't know what's wrong with them. And like luckily babysitting has given me the experience to kind of be able to figure out what's wrong with them. And I have patience with it. Like I babysat last night and I had like dozed off because I had someone with me, so they were able to like wake me up if I needed to do anything. But I woke up to the baby crying anyways, and I had her like in her sleeper thing right beside me. And I was like on the couch, and all the rest of the kids were asleep. And she started screaming, and I'm not talking crying. I'm saying like screaming, crying, and I was like, like pick her up, and I tried to like calm her down, you know, the normal stuff, and then I could tell she needed her diaper change because she hadn't since earlier, and I just kind of knew. And she's not my baby, yet I still knew what was wrong, which I'm so proud of because I haven't gotten that sense ever. Like, I'm always like, I don't know what's wrong, they're crying, and I don't know what to do, but I was just calm, and which is amazing, because if you wake me out of a dead sleep, I'm usually, like, very grumpy, but I think it was some sort of, like, mother instinct, like, with a baby, and maybe I would have been that way had I not been pregnant, but it's just, like, some sort of instinct that I had, and I haven't had any motherly instincts, so that's pretty cool. I'm getting a little off topic with these questions, but oops, I don't know. So messing up is definitely something that I'm afraid of as far as the baby, but as far as me, I just really don't want to get postpartum depression because of like things from my past. I'm really nervous that like somehow that could cause me to have postpartum depression, and I know how bad that can get, and then that'll affect the child, and it'll obviously affect me, but I'll also be in school and trying to work and be a mom. So I'm just nervous as far as that stuff. Sometimes I don't fully understand how to handle things. So I've talked to my midwife about it. So it's like, I'm not ignoring it. So I'm going to try to not let that happen, but it's not fully in my control. So the next one is, how is school working out with being pregnant? I just want to say, I actually asked the person that asked me this to ask me it. And, not the question, but like ask me questions because I was like, I can't think of any more questions for the video. Well, I'm about to graduate early. I'm about to be done with my courses. I have like 3 exams left, which you would think takes forever, but it really doesn't. I mean, it does because it's Algebra 2, and math is just not my thing, or at least high school math. I was fine with elementary and middle school math, but high school math, nope. I don't know why. Because, like, middle school math and all of it, like, prepares you. It builds up on one another. I don't understand why I don't understand it, but it just doesn't click very well in my head. There's some parts with geometry that did, but, like, algebra has never clicked in my head very well. I didn't do that good with geometry as far as, like, understanding, but I got it done. It's rough trying to get things done with being so tired and drained, and it kind of is stressful because I have a lot more than just being pregnant going on, and I've been online schooled for the past like couple years to where my schedule is more flexible and I can kind of do it whenever, wherever, and get the help whenever, wherever. And with the school I'm doing now, it's hard to get help because you have to be able to like come in at certain times and, you know, like a normal school, but I just am not used to that. I'm not used to like it being able to work more around my schedule, which kind of stinks. But like, that's life. That's most schools. So, other than that, it's okay because there's honestly a lot of pregnant people at this school. So, which honestly, it's like 4 people that are struggling more. School is. And that would include moms. Okay, so I have 2 more, and the ones me and my mom actually found on the internet that we thought would be interesting to answer. So the first one is, what made you keep the baby? Now, honestly, if someone asked me that, I feel like the way it's worded is kind of a little offensive. It's like, oh yeah, because it's just that simple to just give it up. Just throw it, you know? You just get rid of it, you know? Because that's that easy. No emotions attached to it, no nothing. I guess maybe some people could do that. I don't know of anyone that could, but maybe they can, and I just am not one of them. This kind of leads into a more controversial topic, which I really don't want to talk about in this video. But for me personally, I would never have an abortion. That's me. I wouldn't want to go through the procedure. I wouldn't want to deal with the emotional effects of it afterwards. I wouldn't want to have to deal with any of that. Like, that is just too much for me. I couldn't do it. Like, no. That's my baby, and so I just wouldn't want to do that. And then as far as adoption, my family wouldn't let me give my kid up for adoption if I wanted to. They're too attached. Like, if I would have said, like, right when I found out, okay, I want to give it up for adoption, they would have been like, that's too bad. You won't figure it out. I mean, honestly, if I full-heartedly wanted to, they'd probably come to the conclusion to support me on that decision. Kind of. I mean, I don't know, because that didn't happen. Since they know I'm fully capable of taking care of my baby, they'd probably be pretty against it, unless I had a good reason why I wasn't going to. And that's their blood. Like, I know at the end of the day, they really don't have say, but still. And I guess also with my situation. I mean, I was fully aware of what could happen, and it happened. So, like, taking responsibility for it wasn't really, like, there was another option. There was another option. For me personally. I mean, that's all on you. I'm not you. I'm not in your situation. And the last question. How has getting pregnant affected your social life? So the original question was having a child, but since the child isn't here yet, I'm gonna go with how has pregnancy affected your social life? I don't want to talk to people, I don't want to be around people. Just kidding. I have to be super comfortable around someone to actually want to be around them, and that sounds kind of harsh, but I'm just very awkward about me being uncomfortable, and I have a hard time dealing with me being uncomfortable, and then I get very moody about being uncomfortable. So for an example, say I'm in a car with, like, my friends and their family and I need to pee. Like, it's not good to hold it because it can cause a UTI, and that's really dangerous when you're pregnant. Or I shouldn't say really dangerous. I don't know how dangerous it is, but it's not good while you're pregnant, and it's hard enough to deal with the UTI outside of being pregnant, let alone being pregnant. And if you don't know what a UTI is, it's a urinary tract infection. It's like a type of bladder infection, I think. Something to do with that area. It's not an STD, just in case you thought that. But I, like, feel uncomfortable to try to go to the bathroom, or to try to, like, ask to stop, especially when it happens, like, frequently. Like, if I was going to go on a road trip with someone, I wouldn't with being pregnant, because I have to stop after 5 minutes. I mean, not literally, but an annoying amount. I guess it also kind of depends on, like, who you're with, because if they're super understanding, like, wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I also get hungry at weird times, and like there's certain things I don't want to do, and there's certain things that like me personally I wouldn't do with being pregnant, but like someone else might. So I just don't do well with like standing my ground on that stuff, so I try to avoid those situations. Maybe I'm just being a wimp, but too bad. Me not standing my ground is a whole different topic though. That's irrelevant to this. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A / explanation, reaction, thoughts. If you did, give it a thumbs up and like, wait, that's the same thing. Hit that like button and subscribe, especially if you want to see more of these moments. And I have a playlist linked below if you want to see the rest of my videos that come along with me being pregnant at 17.